Hello everybody, welcome back. If I'm talking at a bit of a lower volume today, it's because I actually have a bit of a cold. The first cold I've had in maybe 7 or 8 months, right? It's really nice weather. Also, another really random symptom that's come with it is my eyes are really watery. But other than that, I'm good. How are you? Today I'm going to be testing some new and viral makeup products and giving you my honest thoughts on them. And some of these things I'm so excited for, in particular the Rare Beauty blushes. I've got the Milk Makeup Skin Tint. I've got some Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes. I've got some bits from Merit Beauty and a few other bits as well. So let's get into it. Oh my god, and I don't know if anyone will notice this, but I finally have trimmed and repotted this plant that I've had for nearly 5 years now. It was genuinely the same height as me. I had to cut some of the longer stems off because they were like losing their leaves and it was just like a string. But I've propagated some little things on my windowsill to try and grow more of them. So we'll see how that goes. I put everything in this little makeup bag. This was from a PR package that I got from Merit Beauty. Hi ho, hi ho. I'm just gonna put on a little bit of the e.l.f. Niacinamide Grippy Primer. I've just slathered my face in SPF. The first thing I'm testing is the Milk Makeup Skin Tint. This is the Hydro Grip Gel Tint. I should have used the Hydro Grip primer with it. Duh. This was £34. I got it from Space NK and I went for the shade 2. I did actually go into a Space NK store because I saw that they had them in store and I wanted to like give them a swatch to pick my shade. Currently I have no fake tan on, so I'm hoping this is going to be the right kind of shade. There were a few kind of jumps between the shades, so I wasn't fully sure which one to get. Oh no, that looks like it's going to be perfect. I don't know why I apply it like wiggles. I have actually worn this once already, just a couple days after I got it because I wanted to see, I guess, like how long it wore and stuff. And I will say, by itself, if you have got oily skin, it is definitely a very shiny, kind of hydrating skin tint. I think that's actually the perfect colour match, you know? It's not too yellow. And this kind of thing I like to apply with a brush. You know what? It kind of reminds me a bit of the NYX tint. You know, like the new NYX honey, what are they called, glazed buttermelt, you know what I mean, the new NYX skin tints. It kind of reminds me of that, although this one I think is a bit more shiny. It does go on really nicely. Oh my god, one sec, I'm gonna be so real with you for a sec. Much better. I never normally would do that, like as I'm applying my makeup, but it was getting out of control. Normally I do it overnight and I wouldn't put makeup directly on top, but oh well. You know what I will say, the first time that I tried this, I didn't use like a grippy primer underneath. I literally just had moisturizer on underneath. And on that day, it was extremely shiny to the point where I was reflecting light. However, at the moment, this is in natural lighting, by the way. I do have a couple of lights on, but they're like pointed away from me. This is mostly natural light from the window. I think it looks really nice. It's blended really nicely. It's sitting nicely on top of my skin. It seems to mix quite well with the e.l.f. like grippy primer, which makes me think that it will work perfectly fine with the Hydro Grip primer. Sorry about the dog. I did wear this for a full day a few weeks ago when I first got this, and I did find towards the end of the day, I was looking pretty oily and I did start to sort of like separate around my nose and around my mouth. But it's not too heavy. It's definitely skin-like. It feels quite lightweight. It's a little bit sticky. It almost feels like a sun cream kind of thing. I don't think it has SPF in it. This is a long-wear gel skin tint with hydrating hyaluronic acid. What is that? And gripping blue agave extract for breathable light coverage with a naturally dewy finish. I would agree. I can only use this when I'm at home because I dropped it and the whole lid just snapped off. But I'm still trying to make it work. This is Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Snow. This spot just does not want to cover. That might be a powder foundation kind of situation. For my bronzer, I have the Merit Beauty Bronzing Stick? Balm? What are you called? Bronze Balm. And I have the shade, I think it's Sen or Cyan. Anyway, we finally have Merit Beauty in the UK. And I've got to say, some bits I've tried, some bits I haven't tried yet. Pretty much since they sent me this package, I have been using these. The Bronze Balm and the Flush Balm Blush. So it looks like this. It's like a domed stick that's oval shaped. But if you are into your natural, glowy, fresh looking makeup, I feel like that's this kind of brand. Because as you can see, it's not crazy pigmented. I like to just take some of my brush and then just dab it into my cheeks, but it blends so nicely. And again, this gives a kind of dewy finish. If you actually look at the product, it sort of melts as your brush touches it, but just so easy to work with. Kind of hard to go wrong with because it's not crazy pigmented, but I've really been liking it. You see how it's got a bit of a glowy finish? I mean, I do set everything with powder anyway, but it's quite a natural cream bronzer, so I feel like if you don't like to wear too much makeup, you don't want it to be too heavy, or if maybe you're a bit scared of cream bronzer, this might be quite a good one because it is quite a sheer formula. But yeah, super easy. I really like that so far. I want to show you the blush, but I also want to show you the Rare Beauty ones because those are the star of the show. I promise I'll put this in another video, but wait, actually, let me just swatch it on my hand. Do you see how it also, again, it kind of just like melts and it has a similar finish to the bronzer? This one is the shade Luscious. Lusitano. I have restrained myself from putting these on my face. I went to a Rare Beauty event the other day with Sephora, and it was like a little pop-up in Covent Garden, which was really cute, but it was to kind of celebrate the launch of the new blushes, and they gifted me the blushes. You know what? Rare Beauty always does a good shade range. Like, look at these shades. If you've got deeper skin, and oh my god, I was swatching these at the event, they are truly this bright and pigmented. In terms of for my skin tone, I reckon these three are probably the best suited. So we've got Hope, Happy, and Worth, and I know that I like all of those shades in the liquid blush. Hope is one of my favorite shades in the powder, like glowy blush. Happy, I'm definitely gonna have to test that because that's my favorite shade from Rare Beauty. And then Worth, actually maybe, I think that looks like it might be a little bit too dark. Let's do Hope on one side, Happy on the other side. And I'm gonna use the Rare Beauty blush brush, which is really nice actually. It's kind of like a giant one of those kitten paw style brushes and works really well for blush. So let's do Hope on one side, and they are this kind of bouncy, squishy texture. Obviously you don't want to squish them too hard because you don't want to smush them, but it's almost like this soft matte but very pigmented blurring kind of texture. So this is the shade Hope. I've got no idea how much to take. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, okay, that was clearly too much. I swear, oh my god. I swear I barely even dipped in it. Whoa, these are gonna last for ages because what the heck? I barely picked up any. I didn't even press hard. Okay, okay, be very careful because they are very, very pigmented. That looks pretty though. I don't know if that color's maybe a bit much, but maybe I think because I just applied too much. I did a few dips like this, but you probably just need like one little dip. I mean, it looks nice, but I definitely know straight away that I do not prefer that over the liquid blushes from Rare Beauty. Definitely prefer those. And also I prefer my glow. I prefer my blush to have a little bit of a glow or a little bit of a more like radiant finish. Let's try Happy on the other side. I'm gonna sort of warm it up with my finger first, just to sort of almost I guess like breaking the top layer. Wow, that's really bright. This time I'm just gonna do that. Let's start with that. Actually no, two little dips, but this time around I didn't really swipe at all. The first time I think I actually went like swipe. Okay, that's not enough. Swipe. Let's do one little swipe and see if that's, yeah, you know what? Even just like one swipe I think may be enough. Actually on my face they look really similar. So that is Hope and that is Happy. I mean actually the tone of them is super similar, and when you kind of blend out the shade Hope, it almost looks really similar to Happy. So they are actually pretty similar shades. I would say Happy is just a tiny little bit lighter and it has a touch more pink in there. But actually on my face, they look incredibly similar. I think though, I prefer the shade Happy just because it's got a tiny bit more, I don't know. What does it have? Maybe it just suits my skin tone a bit better. Don't really know how to describe it, but yeah, I prefer that side. Let's add the excess on my nose. This side just has too much blush, doesn't it? My verdict just off of my first impressions, that is the first time that I've tested them, bear in mind. They're very pigmented. I think the packaging is adorable. I really like the packaging. It's lightweight, it's compact. They look cute. You do get 6.4 grams of product in here. They're made in Korea. Interesting. And I mean, yeah, they're nice. They've blended really nicely with my foundation. You know what? I'm looking at this side like, no, I need more. Yeah, I prefer the regular Rare Beauty liquid blushes that have a bit more of like a dewy finish. I would definitely use these again though. I also have the Merit Beauty Day Glow Highlighting Balm. I've got the shade Carver. I'm a little bit scared about this because it is a liquid highlighter. However, as soon as I opened this, it reminded me of the Chanel one, because I know that Chanel have a really popular liquid cream highlighter that looks kind of like this, and whoa, that is really slippery. You know what it also reminds me of? The L'Oreal Balm thing. Okay, actually the L'Oreal Balm ones feel like a little bit, there's a bit more resistance. And actually the L'Oreal one feels a little bit more like sticky. This Merit Beauty one doesn't really feel, it's a very, very thin formula. Okay, I'm tempted. I'm gonna give it a whirl. The reason I say I'm scared is because liquid highlighters and cream highlighters have never really been my thing. Until more recently, I've started liking them more. I don't know whether it's because I've got older, my skin has changed, my preferences have changed, but you know what? I'm going to try and just take a little bit on my brush that I did my blush with. And let's see how this goes. Okay. Ooh. Maybe that was just what I needed with these blushes actually, because these are matte and I prefer something a bit more glowy. I mean, generally, yeah, if I'm using a liquid highlighter or just highlighters in general these days, I like to kind of mix them with my blush. I was kind of thinking that it might just separate the blush and my makeup underneath, but it's not actually done that. If anything, it's kind of mixed together with it. Wait, God, I need some lip balm. One sec. That's the Clinique Black Honey. Actually, that's not even that hydrating. This cheek's looking a little crazy. I'm hoping you can kind of see here how where the blush was and where like the skin tint was, it's not actually, surprisingly, it's not disturbed what was underneath, which I thought it might. It's kind of just blended with the blush and added an extra bit of glow. But it's not super shimmery, it's definitely more like natural kind of highlighter. But that was successful. I'm gonna try it after I've powdered to see if I can bring some more glow back. And I'm cracking open a new Laura Mercier. I feel like I need a bit more concealer, you know? And also that can blend out the crazy edges of that blush. I don't know if this concealer is a big fan of the skin tint. They're not really meshing together that well. This concealer normally causes me no problems, but for some reason, I don't know, it's kind of like coming off as I'm blending it in. This is the translucent Laura Mercier shade, but it looks more yellow. Huh? Please don't tell me they've reformulated that as well. Everything that I seem to like the Too Faced concealer, when they reformulate it, they've made it more yellow. Am I going crazy? Maybe it's just the concealer. Yeah, what on earth? My concealer is doing weird things under my eyes. As I'm going back over it, it's kind of pilling a bit and like lifting up. That is very strange. Something's different about the Laura Mercier powder. It is the translucent shade and it's the regular one, but this looks more yellow than I'm used to. I'm still going to use it to set the rest of my face though. I mean, it looks fine on the rest of my face. Maybe it was just my concealer that's making it look more yellow. That really threw me off for a sec there. You can still definitely see the blush through the powder, which is cool. A bit of powder bronzer. This is an old MAC one, which I used to love. It is the Extra Dimension Bronzing Powder in Golden Rinse. I feel like I'm going to need to bring a bit of this down my neck. I always get questions about this brush. It was from an old iconic London brush set, but I don't think they sell it anymore. But if anyone knows of a little similar kind of flat nose contour brush, let me know, because people always ask and I feel bad that I think this is discontinued. I'm gonna add a tiny bit of this Sephora blush in Passionate, just a little bit. And then I am going to go back with the Merit highlighter stick and I'm going to use my cute little Refa Alexander Arnell brush, which is kind of like a smaller version of that Rare Beauty one. They have a similar kind of shape. So let's see. Okay, let's do this little portion of my cheek. Oh, wow. It actually comes across lighter and like a little bit more pearly on top of my makeup. I'm scared to build it any more than that. You want to go very gently and like just tap, don't rub, but I don't know why. I feel like this is the kind of product that professional makeup artists love. Whenever I have had my makeup done by a professional and I've been like on a shoot or something, they have always got a like cream highlighter and they'll just like tap a bit on your cheeks. If you're a makeup artist, let me know. Is that your kind of thing? I mean, it's definitely done something. Again, it's still quite natural, glowy. It's not as like dewy glowy as this L'Oreal one, but it also isn't as sticky. I mean, yeah, it leaves you a little bit sticky because obviously it's cream. If you want to just bring back a little bit of glow, let's try a bit down my nose. I think as long as you're gentle with it and don't like rub it around too much, it definitely works. I mean, yeah, I quite like it. I would use that again. Who am I? I'm a changed woman. I've also got the brow gel. I didn't even realise this was in the package. The Merit Brow Gel in the shade Light Brown, the volumizing pomade. But let's give this a whirl. I mean, actually, this colour is kind of perfect for my hair at the moment. I'm getting my hair done soon, so it's going to be a bit darker again, but it feels like quite a waxy formula. Like it's almost got like some grippy, actually, yeah, it's really quite sticky. Yeah, it's kind of holding my eyebrows in place, which is good. A little bit of tint. I've been excited to try Merit Beauty products for a while because I always see in like the celebrity get ready with me videos and stuff, so many celebrities seem to use Merit products and like ads pop up with celebrities using them. But so far, everything that I've tried from the stuff that they've sent has actually been really nice. It seems like a more kind of natural makeup brand. It's definitely not one for like crazy colours and like crazy pigment. My eyebrows feel like they're very in place. Sweet. Just before I do my eyes, I'm actually going to use a little bit of setting spray. I definitely just got some of that in my hair. This is the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Oh, I just sprayed way too much. Oh no, it's all in my hair. I like to spray setting spray before I do my eyes. One, so it doesn't smudge my mascara, and two, if I'm doing eyeshadow, it kind of gives like a bit of grip for something to stick to. The next thing that I have to test, I was a bit embarrassed, right? You know what? I take that back. I wasn't embarrassed because I built this channel off of telling you how I feel about certain stuff. And when I saw that Charlotte Tilbury had launched some new eyeshadow palettes, as soon as I saw these on Instagram, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a new launch from Revolution or from like MUA or something, or like a drugstore brand. And then I read underneath it was like Charlotte Tilbury's launched some new palettes and I was like, Charlotte Tilbury? This doesn't look like luxury packaging. It doesn't look like Charlotte Tilbury packaging. And I had a fair few mixed comments in my DMs. I did have a few makeup artists, and my friend Lo, who's a makeup artist, messaged me and said, for a professional makeup artist that travels with a kit that finds it so difficult to see which eyeshadow palette I'm picking up from Charlotte Tilbury, these are her dream. And I was like, you know what? I get it. I see the vision because you can see what's in there. However, to have like a clear plastic lid, to me it just reminded me of like Makeup Revolution. Do you know what I mean? And so I fully bashed these Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes, and I'm not kidding. The next day I received a PR package with them in, and they'd obviously not seen my story, otherwise they probably would have kicked me off the PR list. But then again, I had a moment of like, you know what? I'm not gonna let the fear of being kicked off a PR list stop me from speaking how I feel about products. And I mean, I'd never tried the eyeshadows. I was just talking about the packaging. I used Charlotte Tilbury palettes on my wedding day to do my eyeshadow, and they have some stunning products. Do not get me wrong. It was just the packaging that I was a bit like, Can you see the way that those shimmers are shimmering and like really sort of reflecting the light? They look gorgeous. So sparkly. But there's a slightly more warm toned one called Sensual Sunset, which if this had been out on my wedding day, I probably would have used that. Actually, no. This one had been out on my wedding day. But this one is called Super Neutral. This, to me, looks like such a good wedding palette. The shimmers in here look absolutely stunning. I'm kind of drawn to testing this one, the neutral one, just because I know that this is probably the one I would get the most use out of. Although I guess the warm tone shades are probably what I would reach for mostly, but then I prefer the look of the shimmers in the neutral one. I'm gonna have to go for the neutral. Maybe I can test one of the others on another day. Let me know if you'd like to see that, but I don't know. Let's start with this dark shade, and I'm gonna smoke that along my lash line. Is that a silly idea to start with the darker shade? Maybe. Oh wow. That is very pigmented. Nice, yeah, that's really pigmented. That for me is kind of like the perfect brown eyeliner-y sort of shade to do this kind of thing. Smoke that out a little bit. Let's go with this shade. It almost looks a little bit grey though, which is a little bit off-putting, but I'm just gonna dip into that one a little bit and just put a touch of that. Oh wow, okay, yeah, that's also more pigmented than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna just put a tiny bit of this. Wow, that's not a tiny bit, is it? That's a fair amount. I only dipped in the tiniest bit. I'm gonna put that shade through my crease. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to blend this out. Should have used a smaller brush. I'm just trying to like gently diffuse that, but maybe I started with a bit much anyway. I'm gonna try and do the same on the other side, just so that we're even. I don't want to get too off track. I'm dipping back into that with a smaller brush to kind of focus it more on the outer corners and blend it into that other shade. And then also try and like gently bring that out a bit. You know what though, I think for a wedding day I probably a wedding day? I said this would be a lovely wedding day kind of palette, which I still think it would be. However, this is maybe a little bit too grey toned for wedding vibes. I would maybe take like a bronzer to warm up my crease mixed in with this shade, just so that it doesn't go like too cool toned. But I mean, if you're into your cool tones, there is a literal grey in the bottom corner. So far these seem to be blending really nicely. They feel the same kind of quality as Charlotte's other eyeshadows. I definitely find it helps to have a mirror that's big enough that you can see both of your eyes, so you can sort of keep checking back and keep making sure that they're symmetrical. I'm gonna take this creamy pale shade just to sort of like diffuse the edges a bit more. I'm gonna use the tiniest bit of that brown that I used on my, whoa, yeah, they're so much more pigmented than you think they're gonna be. This is the same one that I used on my lash line, but actually that's too dark, but I'm gonna have to do the same on the other side now. Okay, let's use that other creamy shade, sort of blend it out. You know what though, the fact that these are darker than I expected and they're coming out really strongly pigmented makes me feel like they're gonna work better on a lot more skin tones compared to some of her other like eyeshadow quads. I guess this has got a bit more range. I don't know if that shade looks a bit muddy. That's the problem that I have with cooler tones. It's easier to kind of go wrong with them and make them look a bit muddy. Let's use some of the darkest shade, which is like a really dark grayish brown, which actually almost looks black. I'm gonna add, yeah, wow, on me that's coming across almost black. A bit more of that to deepen the very outer corner. I have literally just dipped in once, like one little dip, and just drag that out a teeny weeny bit. I'm just gonna swatch all three shimmers. There's like a white shimmer. Oh my god. There's a pink one in the middle, like a, I guess like a pinky bronze, and then a lighter golden bronze. Oh, they look absolutely beautiful. Oh, that last shade is actually kind of took my breath away. I know that sounds so dramatic, but look at that gold sparkly stunningness. Oh, and it's slightly duochrome. It's like a bit of like a pinkish gold. Oh my god. The middle one isn't as glittery, but the white and that gold. Oh my goodness. Also, you need to touch that the tiniest amount. Oh, wow. Oh my god, that is so beautiful. And then the other side. If you have the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerized palette, the really sparkly one from that I wore on my wedding day, and it is that kind of formula, but actually maybe even a little bit more intense. Oh, that is so beautiful. Oh my goodness me. They are so stunning. Like, look at them. That is so pretty. I am loving how that's looking. Those shimmers are gorgeous. I've not really seen much about the Merit mascara, to be honest. I've mostly just seen stuff about their face products, but they sent a mascara anyway. It's called the Clean Lash Tubing Mascara, lengthening tubing mascara, so I will give it a go. Tubing technology tints, lengthens and lifts lashes with no smudging ever. Well, I'll be the judge of that. If a mascara likes to smudge on anyone, it likes to smudge on me. It looks like a very bog standard brush. I do fear that this might be a very natural mascara because that's the kind of like messaging behind the brand. I'm not expecting crazy things from it, to be honest. But I do love a good tubing mascara, and I will still test if it's gonna smudge. Okay, after the first coat, it's definitely a very natural mascara. Although, the way that the brush is, it's separating my lashes nicely. And it does seem to be building. It's not a super wet formula. It feels like my lashes are growing as I'm adding a second coat. It's definitely not giving me much volume. Wow, it dries really quickly. It's already dry. Okay, I'm going in with a third coat. Definitely buildable, because the first coat that I put on was super natural, but the more I'm layering it, it is building upon itself. It almost feels like stretchy. It's definitely like built on itself, which is good. But it is more natural than I would normally go for. Oh my god, I didn't highlight my inner corners. I'm gonna use the white. Ugh, I just got sidetracked and I didn't even use the white from this palette, but I'm gonna use that on my inner corners. Okay, yeah, that's definitely like Makeup by Mario Master Crystal Reflector kind of vibes. Sorry, how did I forget to do that? Let's also bring a bit of that into here. I knew it didn't quite look finished. Beautiful. I mean, generally I prefer mascara that is more volumizing, but I'm mostly curious to see how this smudges. No, I've just found a brow pencil as well. I thought it was a lip liner. Oh my god, that is the tiniest. That is teeny tiny. Damn it. I so would have used that. The sheer gel pencil in light brown. Oh my god, that is right up my street. It's like the super skinny Benefit one. I didn't realise that was in here. Oh, I so would have used that. I have a few shades of the Merit lip liners as well. Are they twistable? No. What is on the end? Oh, my little sharpener. Okay, cool. Oh wait, no way, they are twistable. Yes. Just a different part that I need to twist. Okay, slay. What is this shade? Coupe. Ooh, that's a very soft formula. It feels like a lip balm. No, I'm gonna go for Mayfair. That is such an interesting formula. I mean, it does say it's a sheer lip liner. I've never tried a sheer lip liner before, but it does feel like a lip balm kind of texture, which I don't know how that's gonna hold up in terms of like longevity, but I guess we will see. I like the shade of that. That goes really nicely with the eyes. Imagine if they're now smudge proof. I don't think they will be. Okay, no, yeah, they definitely smudge. They definitely do like smudge. But I mean, it's a nice shade. It's blended really nicely. I'm just not so sure like how long that's gonna last, but really nice color. That was the shade Bespoke. Then the final thing that I have to test are the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb oils, which are a luminizing lip oil and gloss instead of the regular gloss bombs, which is just like a regular lip gloss. So I'm intrigued by these. I got sent a few of the shades. I'm tempted to go with Fenty Glow because I know that that's one of my favorite shades in all of the other Fenty products. I really like the gloss bomb sticks. The original gloss bombs are fine, but I don't reach for them that often. Oh my god, the Fenty Glow, what? That is not Fenty Glow. These are like glittery. Look at Fenty Glow, it's got like green shimmer in it. I don't know how I feel about that. This one is called Raspberry Jam. That makes me want to have jam on toast for my lunch. Oh, that looks gorge. I actually might have to go for that one. That looks stunning. There's also Fussy, which is another one of my favorite shades. Oh my god, I think it's gonna have to be that. It's like a pinkish toned nude with little tiny, almost like white-ish sparkles that match the eyes. Oh, but then I want to do the Raspberry Jam shade. I'm gonna do this one first. Oh, guys, these have broken the Fenty lip curse of me not liking the smell, because this is a new scent that smells like vanilla-y. This one smells like vanilla. That looks so cool. Okay, if you do not like a Fenty gloss because you find them too sticky, these are not sticky in the slightest. That feels like a true lip oil. It has some little shimmers in there. You can't really see the shimmers that much on my lips though, I'm not gonna lie. That feels so nice. That's gorgeous. And because I love the formula and I love the smell, I am gonna try the Raspberry Jams shade because I think I'm gonna like this one too, even though it definitely is like a deeper shade. It just looks so pretty to me. And because they are more on the sheer side, I can imagine me wearing this when I've got like a really simple eye. Oh my God. If you actually, when you blend it out, it's not that crazy. I can imagine this lip combo is not going to survive through my lunch because they all feel sort of like super slippery. I feel like it's settling into my lip lines a little bit. Can you see what I mean? That shade is like settling into the cracks in my lips. I've really liked the fussy shade though. I will see how I go. We'll see how we go. But this, ladies and gents and everyone else, is the finished makeup look. Definitely some wins in there for sure. It's been about 3 hours. I ate and like everything has pretty much come off my lips. And I just said to James, what don't you like about my makeup and what do you like about the makeup? And he said he really likes the eyes and he says he likes the blush better on this side. He said this side looks like it's more blended because I mean, yeah, this side was heavy on the blush and even though I blended it out, it still is too much blush. Even on this side, now that I look in this light, it looks like too much blush, but he said that he really likes the eyes, which they do look stunning. They're so sparkly. So far, I don't have any mascara smudging, but he did say, and something else that I've also noticed and wanted to point out as well, is that around my mouth and on my chin, the foundation is kind of like, and also like around the sides of my nose, the foundation's kind of, I don't know, like separating a bit. And like around the sides of my nose, it's kind of separating a bit. This feels so up close and personal. But like, do you see what I mean? He said it looks a bit dry around my chin and my mouth, which I agree with. It's been 4 hours now. Let me just get under the light. I'm definitely starting to look a bit oily and I'm about to go out and see some friends. I'm just gonna add a tiny touch of powder just because I don't want to show up looking super duper oily, but I had the smallest amount left on my brush, so that will do. This makeup has now been on a good like 10-11 hours now. I'm trying to like hold it at a good angle so you can see because I've just turned on one of my lights because obviously it's pitch black outside. Guys, it's really not looking good. I'm just trying to see like if the mascara is smudged. I don't think it's necessarily smudged. It's like a little bit of crumbling. And like, what? Oh, is there a tiny bit of smudging there? To be fair, my eyes were watering earlier because we were sat outside, so I feel like that might have been my fault because I don't even have any eyelashes there. That looks like when my eyes watered and then that bit's come off. But there's not actually any like smudging, you know, like sometimes I get those lines. We're oily on my forehead, but it looks awful. Like around my nose, it has really started to like separate, and around my mouth and my chin, like it's just looking, and like even like my under eyes, everything is like creased and sunk into lines and dry looking, but then also oily at the same time. It's just kind of like separated and like congealed almost. I would not recommend this skin tint if you've got oily skin and you want to wear it for a long time. Fine for like during the day if I just want to wear it for a few hours, and I probably wouldn't like put as much powder on, but for like longevity reasons, not for me. That is me done for the day. Please let me know down below if you've tried any of these things, if you have similar thoughts to me, or if you have different thoughts to me. Let me know because I'd love to know your thoughts as well. If you like this kind of testing video, then I would love it if you subscribed because I do post these very often. That's kind of like what I do on my channel. And if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. That would be great. I hope you're all doing good and I will see you in my next video.